Canids are a diverse and unique group not commonly associated with being isolated on islands. But that does not mean this group is an exception to this unique scenario. On the rugged British island chain we know as the Falklands, a whole population of unique canids existed. So how did this elusive and brave animal end up on the Falklands, and what can we learn from their extinction? Captain John Strong, an English mariner, would visit the Falklands in 1690, and later named the islands. Upon discovering the wharf, he would decide to take it back to London. Tragedy would strike, as during the firing of a cannon, the Fox would jump overboard, presumably killing itself in the icy cold water. Shortly after, Louis Antoine de Bougainville, sorry if I said that name incorrectly, a French explorer and an admiral who established the first settlement in the Falklands, named it the Loup Reynard, meaning Wharf Fox, a highly unoriginal name. In 1833, Charles Darwin, yes, the Charles Darwin, visited the Falklands, and he noted their population was declining rapidly. Another attempt was made to transport this wharf to London. This one succeeded, and another wharf was also captured. Residing in London Zoo, they were called the Antarctic Wharf in 1870. Unfortunately, neither of the animals would live long, and by 1876 they were extinct in the wild and in captivity. We are lucky to have plenty of information on the Falkland Island wolves, especially in comparison to Australia's dwarf island emus. The ancestors of the wolves seem to have came to the Falkland Islands around 16,000 years ago. There are multiple theories to how they arrived on the Falklands. There are some theories that they came over to the Falkland Islands on debris, similar to how early prosimians came to Madagascar, deriving from Deucicyon avis, an extinct dwarf related to the main dwarf, which although looks like a fox, it is in fact not. It seems to have migrated over to the island, eventually becoming isolated from the receding ice caps. The absence of other mammals may be because of the difficulty of crossing such an ice bridge, although more information is needed to truly understand how they ended up on the Falklands. Because of the lack of well-fossilized remains, the Falklands wolf only has a skeleton dating back to around 3,000 years ago, so for now, it will remain a mystery to how they ended up on the Falklands. The Falklands wolf was the only native land mammal to the Falklands. This means it didn't have any rodents or other mammals to feed off, unlike its mainland ancestors. Darwin never wrote about its diet, although we can assume, much like modern foxes, it hunted birds, insects, and maybe even the occasional penguin. He compared it to the size of a beagle, unsure whether there was a difference between the West and the East Falkland Island wolf's size. Records show they were easy to hunt. For example, all you needed was some meat for them to come out and take it. Then you could pull out your gun and kill it very easily. Or you could just use your dog to hunt down the creature. Its fur was very desirable for Europeans, greatly helping its demise. It was referred to as the Falklands wolf, Warrah, Falklands fox, Antarctic fox, Loup Reynard, and Deucicyon australis. Darwin proposed of how soon they would become extinct, much like the dodo, as he wrote,
"Within a few years after these islands shall become regularly settled, in all probability this fox will be classed with the dodo, as an animal which has perished from the face of the earth."
Tragically, he was right. Farmers murdering them for the death of their sheep, many hunters trying to get their desirable fur, and an overall pressure from humans visiting the Falklands led to their extinction. Fortunately, today it seems to be in Britain's greatest interest to protect the wildlife of the Falkland Islands, although this does not mean the rest of the beautiful continent of South America is not under threat. The maned wolf is a good example of this tragedy taking place. A loss of habitat, lack of protection, and hunting makes the future of the maned dwarf uncertain. And let's hope tragedy shall not strike it like it did the Falkland island Warrah.